At the time of recording this video, I've now just turned 30. And if I was to go back and tell my 20-year-old self 10 rules for how to improve his training to take him from skinny fat to jacked, this is exactly what I would say. Training hard and smart will make you grow. But if you're wasting time in the gym, messing around, not really focused within your training sessions, and training to zero intensity, nothing is going to change. And for years, I probably went through the gym sessions like this. Just floating around the gym, no real structure. It left me coming out of training sessions weeks, months down the line, wondering where had all that effort gone? Junk volume is sapping your energy and growth because I was repeating exercises all the time, going from a flat press into a Smith machine bench press into dumbbell press. And all that ended up doing was making me really fatigued off the back of those training sessions. But I was hitting this exercise redundancy whereby there was a diminishing return. The more effort that I was putting in, the less gains I was making. Neglecting cardio meant that I fatigued quicker, which means I had less energy to go in and train at the gym. It meant that my recovery was lower, my heart rate was higher, and my capacity to train harder was diminished. I should have been tracking my workouts because this allowed me to see where I was progressing. What gets measured gets managed. And if things weren't progressing and I wasn't adding 1.25 kilos each side to upper body exercises and 2 kilos to lower body exercises or reps that I was aiming for, that's when I knew that I was not progressing and that I'd plateaued with that training block and that I needed to change something or I needed to eat more food. This one is probably the hardest one that skinny guys face right now, and that is getting lean first. And if you haven't done so, I'd go and recommend watching this video on how to get abs in less than 10 weeks because it's going to teach you everything you need to know about getting leaner so that you're aerobically and metabolically efficient to then add muscle mass. When you're in this cycle of being skinny fat, you don't know whether to bulk or cut first. It makes it so much harder to make a decision because you're scared of looking too skinny, but then you're scared of adding too much body fat. You need to make a decision. And I wish Jack had made the decision to get lean first. It would have meant that he would have built more muscle mass into the future and looked better at the same time. Sacrificed 10 to 15 weeks and then focused on going through a long gaining phase to come out looking jacked. Hiring a coach will fast track your progress. And I wish I had done this sooner. I wish I had spent the money getting somebody who knew way more than me, had greater knowledge, had where I had been before and packed on muscle mass so that I didn't look skinny. And I wish I didn't let my ego drive me to make the decision to wait too long to make that commitment to having somebody give me the help that I needed. I would put it off in my head over and over again saying that I didn't need it, but yeah, I was left frustrated every few months about never really seeing much progress in the gym. Training with a full range of motion will mean that I will reduce my injury risk, and instead of ego lifting, I would have seen so much more progress. If I'd gone through those ranges of motion, I wouldn't have had the shoulder issues I'd had for years, my knee wouldn't have had the tendinopathy it had, but I would be more interested in lifting as much weight as possible, as fast as I possibly could, and it meant that I wasn't really connecting with those muscles very well, and I wasn't able to see the progress that I wanted when it came to filling out t-shirts, to have a chest bigger than my belly, all because I wasn't willing to go into those spaces where the reps were challenging with an intensity that allowed me to still go through that full range of motion. Michael Golden from Integra talks very much about the places you're being avoidant is the place that is going to help you grow the most. Deloads and training phases are super important if you want to manage fatigue and continue to progress. There is going to be times where you want to focus on building as much muscle mass as properly, focus on aerobic capacity, which is like cardiovascular fitness, and also strength. You need a combination of multiple different phases throughout your time training so that one, you don't get bored, and two, you enjoy it even more and you see progress numerically rather than just how you feel. It helps to take the emotions away from training and how you look in the mirror. It gives you something to aim for and to focus on and keeps things interesting. Recovery is where you make the most progress. In fact, it's not the gym sessions that help you grow the muscle, it's how well you recover. If you're sleeping well and you're eating really well and you're managing your stress, this is the time and space where you rest and digest your food. Moving away from that sympathetic nervous system zone where you're stressed, heightened in that training zone, into that rest and recovery parasympathetic nervous system space where you're relaxed, digesting your food and allowing yourself to be nice and calm. Because ultimately when you're sleeping, this is when your body repairs itself, including your brain and your body. This is where you build muscle mass. So don't neglect your recovery. And finally, pre and post nutrition. I still wish to this day that I committed to having a pre-workout meal and a post-workout meal. This allowed me to then have the carbohydrates to train effectively when I'm going into my gym sessions. So I feel strong, I feel pumped, and I don't fatigue into the session too soon. I'm able to get out the other end feeling high off the back of the endorphins of that training session rather than completely fatigued. And the post-workout meal, there's new evidence to suggest that having proteins, carbs, and a small amount of fat 1 to 2 hours after training sessions can improve the performance or maintain the performance of training sessions the next day. So having some sort of meal post-workout would have allowed me to recover more, would allow me to train even harder the next day and grow. Hopefully you found these lessons useful. If you have, I'd love you to comment what your biggest takeaway has been, like and subscribe to the channel because it helps it grow even more. I'm really trying to give out as much free information as I can to help lads who want to get lean and athletic and build a hell of a rig and get jacked long into the future. And if you're interested, there's a link below where you can apply for coaching for the Perform for Life program, where we help guys get lean, get strong, and get jacked and stay in good shape for the rest of their lives.